Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Let's Vibe, the channel where we talk about what we're feeling. And today I wanted to talk about Ruby and the feeling of anger. So first let me just show you this stone. As you can see, the stone that I have has a sheen to it. This reflective sheen is called chatoyancy. Comes from the French, and it refers to the way that a cat's eye reflects light. So this is a star ruby. It's not a super high grade stone, so there's not an actual star pattern on this one. A gem quality stone would have a star pattern, but obviously I'm I'm not gonna buy a gem quality star ruby. Um, don't quite have the money for that. But at metaphysical shops, you'll find the lower grade stones like this, the opaque, not quite as pretty stones. And the thing to remember is that even if a stone is not gem quality, it'll still have that same vibration or very, very, very similar. And the same, yeah, so that goes for all stones, really, because there are many gem quality stones out there, but the real precious gems, um, you'll find that the crystal shops, they might have ruby or sapphire, and it looks like it's not very pretty. It's not very pretty. Sometimes they just look like hunks of rock, but um, I guarantee you. Well, I can't guarantee, but I assure you that even those hunks of rock rubies will have that ruby vibration. Anyway, so this is my star ruby. And the reason I thought of this stone and wanted to talk about this stone today is because I was feeling a lot of anger today. A lot of it was unfortunately spurred on by looking at the news too much and getting sucked into some crap on social media. Very easy thing to do. It's an easy pitfall. Um, you know, the news and social media is pretty much designed to be addictive. And I can personally say, yeah, it can be very addictive. And so today I just found myself wrapped up in all kinds of angry feelings, angry emotions, reacting angrily to what I was seeing on my phone, which, is probably a sign I need to put my phone down. But all of these angry emotions, they led me to pick up my Star Ruby. And that's because Ruby and Star Ruby, they're very, very similar in their vibration. So that's why I'm using them interchangeably. Um, Ruby is really good when it comes to those angry feelings and emotions because Ruby provides a strong sense of, well, not just sense, but a strong psychic form of protection. Ruby is very energetically protective against, low vibrations or, those toxic kinds of people who might try to take from your energy. Ruby protects against that. And obviously, when you're dealing with anger, and there's a high chance of coming across some, harmful or low vibration. Um, for me personally, when I meditate with ruby, I get this sense of having my anger on the outside somewhat, not so much stuffed inside. Because personally, I'm someone who tends to shove the anger down. I don't really like to express it too much. I don't like to talk about it that much. Um, it's an emotion that I was raised to consider bad. And that's really the source of so many issues is when we start labeling our feelings as good or bad. Um, Ruby provides an energetic space where you can really hold and give space to your own anger. And in that kind of space, you're able to just let it be and just feel it without trying to label it as good or bad. That's the trick. Um, we're all taught and conditioned to to label things. We want to label good feelings and bad feelings and good emotions, bad emotions. There's no such thing, really. There's no such thing as a bad feeling versus good feeling. It's feelings are feelings. As I said, the problems really start when we start labeling those feelings. So that's what I like about Star Ruby. It gives me that kind of space where I can just feel whatever it is I'm feeling. And Star Ruby draws out those emotions and feelings of anger, specifically for what they call transmutation, which is a big word for change or transform. So Ruby allows you to bring out that anger, to hold it while being grounded, and change it energetically into something positive, something constructive. Anger, it's not hard to see how destructive anger can be. One look at the news, at social media, a lot of people are angry. And there's a lot of destruction that comes with it. But anger doesn't have to be something destructive. That was kind of a revelation for me. I grew up, really believing that anger was just not a good that's not a good emotion. It's hurtful, it's harmful. No, it doesn't have to be. Anger can be constructive, and I'm definitely still, you know, on that path to learning the constructive ways um, anger can be used. And Ruby, specifically my star Ruby, is a big help in that. Ruby is also considered a very energizing stone, and it feels that way. It feels like being firmly planted where you are, where you're standing or sitting. Being firmly planted and feeling energized in a very forward moving, motivating kind of way. This is a stone of Aries, and Aries, that energy is all about starting and pushing forward and getting something done. And so this stone, Ruby, really encapsulates that Aries kind of energy. It's a fire energy. This is a fire element, a stone of the fire element. And it really has that oomph, that push. So, very powerful kind of stone, very protective, very stable kind of energy, but at the same time, very motivating, and a stone that makes you want to do something, get something done. But personally, I love using Ruby to work with anger. Because, like I said, anger can be a hard emotion to work with. It's volatile, and Ruby gives that sense of stability, even when you're really feeling mad. Like when I was looking at the garbage online on social media, looking at all kinds of crap that was making me mad, and when I picked up this star ruby, I just felt a sense of relief from some of that anger. Um, it just felt like it was drawn out, and I was able to hold it and sit with it. And it might not sound like much, but I'm telling you, that's critical. It is critical to be able to sit with your own feelings, to be able to sit with whatever emotions you're having in any given moment, to be able to sit with it and not label it. That's where stuff starts. That's I'm talking about good stuff, like good change, good positive transformation. That's where it really begins, is in that kind of space. So Ruby provides that safe space to feel whatever it is you're feeling, because as I've said in many of my videos, feelings are very powerful and feelings can be really scary. And a stone like Ruby gives you the energy to really handle those feelings. Now, um, Ruby is also considered a stone of abundance. Particularly Star Ruby is uh, used for manifestation, drawing towards you the things that you're desiring. And that star, personally, I think that this star quality of this stone, that star reflection that this stone has, it gives the stone a very strong type, focused kind of energy. So I think that really adds to the focusing, the manifesting quality of the stone. This stone is also great for the heart chakra. It resonates with the heart chakra, and it also protects the energy of the heart chakra. Now, the song that I settled on for Ruby is the song I Am the Fire by Hailstorm. Hailstorm is a hard rock group, similar to Evanescence. I didn't really, I didn't really know about them until a couple years ago. I'm a huge Evanescence fan, um, but but this song. So don't be surprised if eventually I start assigning Evanescence songs to some of these crystals. But for this one, for Ruby, I really like the song "I Am the Fire." Um, that song really gets you fired up, but in a very positive kind of way, like focused, determined, I can accomplish anything type of vibe. So, as always, I will include a link to that song by Hailstorm down in the description box, and I encourage you to leave a comment or question below this video. And as always, thank you so much for vibing with me.